Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
The WNBA thought they could rough up Caitlin Clark every night and fans would just cheer like it's a middle school game. But after Clark was body-checked like it was Game 7 of the NHL Finals, fans aren't just upset. They're boycotting like it's Black Friday, and the refs confiscated their coupons. The league wanted more physicality, but now it has a full corner protest on its hands. Who knew that pushing for tougher play would backfire, hitting ticket sales and morale? Buckle up, because this saga is just getting started, as fans demand respect for their MVP and a fair game.
It was just announced that Caitlin Clark will be out a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad injury. Could this injury have been prevented? Can the Indiana Fever win without her? And what does this mean for the WNBA?
The WNBA believed this season would be smooth sailing. Ratings climbing, jerseys flying off shelves, and Fever games drawing Taylor Swift-sized crowds. But just when things looked perfect, Caitlin Clark's quad injury changed everything. Now she's sidelined, fans are furious, and social media is ablaze with frustration. Behind closed doors, league officials are scrambling, trying to manage the chaos while putting on a brave face. The excitement has turned into concern as the season's momentum stalls and questions swirl about Clark's recovery and the league's future. It's clear this season's drama is far from over, and the WNBA's calm is officially broken.
Get in the back. We know Caitlin Clark was lost yesterday to an injury for at least 2 weeks. Now, the thing about it is they're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks. And of course, man, these teams, I told you earlier, these WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the, United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent.
Clark's out for 2 weeks with a strained quadriceps. No tear, no fracture, but enough to throw the league into chaos. Her thigh basically took a vacation, leaving the Fever's star player on the sideline as the WNBA frantically tries to keep the spotlight shining. The reactions? Let's just say they've been anything but subtle. In fact, they've sparked full-blown public meltdowns. Fans, analysts, and players are voicing their frustrations, worried about the league's momentum and Clark's recovery. It's a tense moment, and everyone's watching closely to see how the WNBA handles this unexpected setback.
Oh my God, guys, breaking news. Caitlin Clark is hurt. I didn't believe it when I saw it myself. She's injured. She has a quad injury, a left quad injury. It's a quadriceps strain, and the team announced today, about 2 hours ago, she's going to be out 2 weeks at the minimum. 2 weeks. Without Caitlin Clark, this team is finished.
Clark's diehard fans, arguably the most passionate, Mersh-obsessed Twitter-lock supporters since Michael Jordan's era, are already staging emotional protests. They've transformed a minor injury into what feels like a full-blown revolution. Tweets cry, "I'm done watching until Clark returns." This league isn't worth it without her, and boycott the WNBA. These fans are acting like the league personally insulted their family or stole their pets. Meanwhile, other players are out here saying, "Hey, we're still here," but the online world responds with a cold, "Not now, sweetheart." The drama around Clark's absence has ignited a firestorm of reactions.
If it's the latter, it could mean that Caitlin Clark could potentially miss the rest of the season. This 2-week timetable that people are running with, that's just when Caitlin Clark is going to be reevaluated. As of now, she will be reevaluated on June 9th. That does not mean, and it's highly unlikely, that June 9th or shortly thereafter is when Caitlin Clark is cleared to return.
And Indiana? They're suddenly getting a taste of life without their star, Caitlin Clark. The Caitlin Clark Show has temporarily gone off the air, leaving Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell to try and keep the franchise afloat, with sheer grit and determination. Mitchell's out here playing like she's got 3 lungs, pushing through exhaustion, while Boston's rebounding like she's battling ghosts. Coach Stephanie White is rewriting game plans on the fly, almost as if she's in the Hunger Games. Surprisingly, the Fever might just stay competitive. Why? Because their upcoming opponents have been about as threatening as lukewarm soup. No offense, Chicago Sky, well, maybe just a little. Still, Indiana's resilience could surprise us all in these coming weeks, even without their superstar.
There's no way every team's going to come at them and try to take them out, especially without Caitlin. They're going to lose some games here, and that's going to set them back. It's really hard to believe this, but yeah, she's out. There's no other details. When did this happen? Could have happened in this game. We're not sure. Most likely at a practice yesterday. She's out for 2 weeks, man.
Let's be honest, the most entertaining aspect of the WNBA isn't the scoreboard, the highlight reels, or even the game itself. It's watching the league scramble to keep up the illusion that everything's business as usual when the star of the show, Caitlin Clark, has been benched. Before her injury, Clark wasn't just a contender for MVP, she was the MVP. The entire narrative. Some tried to downplay her, claiming she was just good for a rookie. But that's like saying Beyoncé is just a singer. Please. Clark was more than putting up impressive numbers. She was single-handedly dragging her franchise back into relevance, acting as a one-woman rescue mission. Her presence skyrocketed ratings, sold out arenas, celebrity shout-outs, and fans in the nosebleeds sporting homemade glitter-infused jerseys. She didn't just bring excitement, she rebooted the league's entire algorithm. We're talking record-breaking viewership, arenas finally packed, and merch flying off shelves faster than Taylor Swift tickets. And now, the Queen is temporarily off the court. Suddenly, the league wants us to believe that the MVP race is wide open, as if the rest of the league wasn't orbiting her gravitational pull just a few days ago. Cute attempt, but we all know the truth.
Breaking WNBA news. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad strain, and our next question is, what does this mean for the Fever? So Cece is going to be missing the second Sky rematch since playing them the first weekend of the season, which is definitely a bummer, but on the bright side, this injury doesn't seem too bad, it's just some quad tightness. But fear not, Fever fans. We talked to Caitlin earlier this month, and she doesn't seem too worried about the depth of this roster.
So I think our depth is probably what I would worry about the most. You know, if somebody doesn't have it one night, you're just going to the next person on the bench and the next person. And, you know, we're going to have to be able to find a way to use that to the best of our ability.
Caitlin seems like she has faith in her team, but we will see how this squad performs on the court without their number 1 player.
Meanwhile, back in Indiana, the Fever are quietly adjusting and might actually come out stronger. Without Clark doing everything herself, her teammates are stepping up and showing their true potential. When Clark returns, rested, refocused, and tired of the noise, she'll be ready to make a statement. Picture her storming back onto the court, sinking threes from downtown, and shutting up every doubter who questioned her after her rehab stint. That's not just a comeback. That's an electrifying encore. And here's the real takeaway. If the Fever can survive this rough patch, stay competitive, and snag a few unexpected wins, they'll be a serious playoff threat. With Clark healthy, Boston confident, and Mitchell energized, they could become a dark horse with momentum on their side. Yes, Caitlin Clark is temporarily sidelined, but the league isn't slowing down. It's only getting louder. Now storylines are piling up. MVP drama, rising stars, fierce fan rivalries, conspiracy theories, and her eventual return tour. The WNBA's energy is only building, even without her on the court. Clark's absence has sparked a new wave of excitement and anticipation, keeping fans on the edge of their seats.
Just as I started talking about Caitlin Clark being in the MVP race, it is announced that she suffered a left quad injury and she is going to miss at least 2 weeks. And this is such a bummer because the Fever were off to a great start this season. Caitlin Clark was playing out of her mind. She had already broken some records in the first 3 games, and now she's going to be sidelined for 2 weeks. We'll see how the team will hold up without her. Obviously, she's the primary ball handler, playmaker, and shot maker. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can sustain and just hold even at 500 or better, and she can get back and keep them in playoff contention.
To all the fans boycotting the league until Caitlin Clark returns, here's a reality check. Without her, watching the WNBA feels like tuning in after the main act has already left the stage. Sure, the league is filled with talented players, but without Clark's star power, the excitement, the energy, and the buzz seem to evaporate. The games feel a little flatter, the atmosphere a bit duller, and the drama, well, it's become lukewarm at best. Go ahead, send your angry tweets from your Clark-themed beanbags, because the league isn't reinventing itself. It's just trying to survive without its biggest draw. When Clark finally comes back, it won't be just basketball. It will be an event, the show everyone's been waiting for. Right now, we're stuck in a strange paradox. The games are technically smoother, more polished, and less chaotic, but nobody's really watching. No viral fouls, no heated debates over questionable calls, and no explosive headlines. Without Clark being fouled or making highlight reel plays every game, the discourse has calmed down. And that's what's truly unsettling for the league. Controversy, after all, fuels attention. As much as the league tries to promote basketball excellence, the numbers spiked when Clark took a hard hit. Because chaos sells. Headlines exploded when she was fouled hard, not when players executed perfect plays. The WNBA has benefited from the spectacle of chaos, and now that their chaos engine is on pause, they're nervously staring at the stat sheets like it's a credit card bill. And let's not forget the merchandise. Somewhere in a warehouse, Caitlin Clark jerseys sit untouched, gathering dust, like a reminder of the hype that once was. Sales plummeted the moment she limped off the court, leaving the league and its marketers scrambling. A 12-game absence for Clark is almost like an eclipse, rare, brief, and wildly inconvenient for ticket sales and viewership. Without her, the league risks losing more than just points. It risks losing its pulse.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up.
And now fans are doing what fans do best, throwing temper tantrums like toddlers who got the wrong Happy Meal toy. Entire comment sections are ablaze with "she should have gone to Europe" cries, because of course that's the rational solution to getting hurt. Pack your bags and flee the continent. Apparently the quad muscle heals faster when you're dunking on Lithuanian 19-year-olds for $5,000 a week. Genius. But let's talk about this "she should have gone to Europe" narrative. First of all, yes, the pay overseas is often better because oligarchs don't care about salary caps. Second, yes, European fans worship their basketball queens like royalty. But Clark didn't come to the WNBA for comfort. She came to take over. And taking over isn't easy when half the league treats you like a piñata and the other half pretends they're not obsessed with your every move. And speaking of obsession, let's have a moment of silence for the Caitlin Clark haters. They were just starting to perfect their hate watch routines. The breathless "she's overrated" takes bookmark and ready. And now? Nothing. Radio silence. It's hard to hate watch someone who isn't playing. They're like sitcom villains who suddenly lost their lead actress, wandering around with too much time and too many opinions.
Big news just released by the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark has suffered a quad injury, and she's going to be out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Really bad news for people going to games at home hoping to see Caitlin.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is absolutely making the most of the spotlight. She's flexing, trash-talking, and turning post-game pressers into TED Talks about haters, doubters, and media bias. And here's the kicker. It's working. The drama's delicious. Every time Reese shows up in a designer outfit and drops 15 rebounds, she's reinforcing her brand. Let's not forget that Clark Reese was supposed to be the game of the week, the rematch, the main event. Fever vs. Sky, Caitlin vs. Angel, the ratings bonanza everyone was drooling over. But now, it's like showing up to WrestleMania and finding out The Rock stayed home. Sure, the show goes on, but it doesn't hit the same. And don't think the league's marketing team didn't cry into their conference call when they had to scrap all those Clash of Titans promos. Now it's more like, watch two rising teams try not to trip over each other's missed layups. But let's zoom out a bit. Caitlin Clark getting injured may actually be the best thing to happen to the WNBA. Why? Because it's forcing the league to prove it has more than one star. It's forcing fans to meet players they've ignored, recognize greatness that isn't trending on TikTok, and understand that Clark is the beginning of a movement, not the whole movement.
Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. I was watching the WNBA. There was nothing on the TV, so I said, why do I just support women? I'm a proud feminist anyways. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. All I saw was straight bricks. But Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. That girl can hoop. I will.
We're seeing in real time the Angel Reese psychological meltdown as she's actually being forced to grasp the fact that the thing that she is best at in her life, which is basketball, Caitlin Clark is exponentially better at than she is.
Suddenly, we're seeing clips of Kalia Copper lighting it up for the Mercury. People are remembering that Breanna Stewart is still a walking bucket. Even players like Dearica Hamby are finally getting flowers for consistent play that never goes viral. The league is now showcasing depth, talent, and actual team identity. Imagine that. And when Clark comes back, and she will come back, you can bet the fever around the fever will hit a new high. If anything, this break is adding fuel to the fire. Her return won't just be a moment. It'll be an event, a resurrection, a statement. And every player who underestimated her while she was sidelined better hope she doesn't come back with revenge threes raining from the clouds. The real losers here aren't the fever. It's not Clark. It's not even the league. The real losers are the fans who tapped out the second she hit the injury report. Because they missed the rise of Collier. They missed Reese evolving in real time. They missed the chance to witness a league finally forced to grow beyond its most popular name. And that's the kind of missed opportunity you can't just re-watch on ESPN+. The WNBA just survived a week without Caitlin Clark. Not only survived, it adapted. And in a few more games, it'll be tested again. Because when she returns, there will be zero excuses. No rookie grace period. No adjusting to pro play. Just 40 minutes of her trying to make up for lost time, torch nets, and silence every critic who thought her injury was the end of the ride. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.